One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Just so many hours you spent on the phone, I wasted here loving you. Now you gon' tell me that you're on your own, you're leaving me sad and blue. Just so many days you've been on my mind, you've been starting trouble on down the line. Cool if I go, cool if I stay, tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Let it roll, let it glide, let it fall.
And howdy, right off the bat, do you have to then plan the music to stop at the time that my hand hits the last hi-hat? I never even thought about that. Is that a nuisance? Do I need to stop doing that?
No, it works.
Okay, all right. So howdy. And just want to check in with you guys. This is episode 23 of the Clay and Woodrow Show. And obviously we're in Corona times. And so just reaching out to you as you have plenty of free time now to listen to this kind of nonsense. And so we're glad that you are joining us. Mr. Producer Don Corleone is here. So just thank you, Mr. Don, Mr. Producer, for being here. Also, thank you for the other night to come in to save my TV. My volume bar simply become unplugged. It was as simple as I thought it was going to be, and thank you for coming to the house.
No problem.
So I want to get first right away into just a bunch of random things. I don't know if there's a lot of order to this, but our sponsor for the day is right here. Boop, boop. Simply, it is our all toilet paper manufacturers. We thank you. We appreciate you. And we just thank you for everything that we do. As a matter of fact, what we're going to ask you to do is to share this program today. And the gift today, instead of a $100 gift card to Outback Steakhouse, which people still refuse to pick up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, still refuse to pick up. So instead of doing that, we're going to do something that has more value than a $100 gift certificate to Outback.
What could that be?
This is what we're going to do. So if you simply share, we'd love for you to comment as well, but just share. We're going to give you a gently used bag of toilet paper, okay? When I say gently used, that's not the right thing I'm trying to go for. It is partially used. So we bought this, me and a friend of mine, and we were going to split it up because it's the time they were only letting you get, one item at a time.
Sure.
And so it doesn't seem like my friend is going to use her half of the bag, so I'm going to give away her half of it. So gently used, not the terminology I'm looking for. No. Some of the paper has already been taken from it. Mm-hmm. So if you just share it, you're going to get, I'm going to say almost 10 rolls of toilet paper. That is today's currency. That is today's currency, not Bitcoin. You forget, I don't even know it. That seems so silly to me, the whole Bitcoin revolution, but I don't understand it. God bless people that want to do it. I don't understand it. Seems like a good way to lose their shirt, but no longer Bitcoin. It is simply hoarding toilet paper in your basement. That is today's new commodity. And if you think about it, Mr. Producer, it's kind of funny to me that during these types of times, sometimes people say that God has a sense of humor, and I think it's a lot smarter than that. It's just not a sense of humor, but this whole world that kind of turned our back on him, that says, you know what, I am going to just, I'm going to fall down at the feet of money and the stock market and the Dow Jones Industrial Average. He's kind of said, nah, not if I don't want you to. I can cure you of that. And so we are being humbled to the point that we are scavenging around looking for toilet paper. So I think there's certainly some humility to learn in all of this. And I mean that sincerely, that there's some humility. But on the same God note, our vacation Bible schools will be better than ever, because every vacation Bible school, what do they need in order to be successful? The inside rolls of toilet paper. They ask you to bring those for their arts and crafts projects. Mm-hmm. We're going to have thousands of those at our disposal. So I think VBSs in the June, July time period are going to be phenomenal because of, do y'all have that at VBS that they request you to bring? All of ours, they use those for arts and crafts. I don't know what they are used for, but that is critical for a good VBS is toilet paper and paper towels, the rolls inside of them.
Yeah, I've seen actually people make stuff that looks like wrought iron out of cut up toilet paper rolls.
And so I think vacation Bible schools are going to be off the charts this year simply because of our availability of inside. I mean, in theory, we should not need any more toilet paper.
No.
But apparently we are purchasing it, and we kind of already discussed that. That's old hat, but I think Vacation Bible School is going to profit from it. So the other thing is, so we want to thank our sponsor today is All Toilet Paper Manufacturing Companies. This is episode 23. I think I forgot to say that. Once again, you join us in the Timmy Tupper Studios right here at the Trellis Carpenter Building, the 17th floor. And so the 17th floor has been disinfected, but we still are more or less closed down. Only groups of 10 or less, staying always 6 feet apart, and we remind you to do so. Also, quick reminder, apparently there's going to be a pickleball tournament on August 26th and 28th.
The YMCA.
It's going to be someplace. It can't be at a tennis court where it does not allow pickleball. It would have to be a tennis.
No, it would have to be
a tennis court because there would be
a pickleball friendly
tennis court, because in Waycross, Georgia, there would not be a good reason to have a tennis court that would not allow you to play pickleball. I can't think of any reason. Can you? I can't either. Okay. So just going through, we want to stay on the good news front, yes, but it's also our job to give a little bit of reality. So and we try our best to avoid politics as best we can. And I have my blood pressure medication in reaching distance if this thing gets out of hand. But we're waiting for the old stimulus bill. Nothing like having virus and stimulus bill in the same sentence. You know you're not headed for a good product when that occurs. No. But in the Democrat and listen, I can throw plenty of fault around to both parties, but I did find it interesting that the Democratic they worked on their own bill to have to the resolution, and I listen, I think there's probably things like this similar in the Republicans' bill. I'm not that naive, but I did read where a part of, they call it Take Responsibility for Workers bill. And so some of the things that you will find in there in order to bring back the health of this country, not just physical health, but the financial health of this country is, and this seems necessary to me, is $35 million for the Kennedy Center, $300 million for the National Endowment Act. National Endowment of the Arts. You can tell how artsy I am. I don't even know the name of it. And then $100 million for NASA. Now, listen, I'm not necessarily anti-NASA, but I don't know that is the trigger point for bringing our personal health and well-being and our financial security back because of a virus.
Probably not.
Probably not. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to quickly, I don't even need my blood pressure. I'm fine. I'm going to just quickly, listen, both parties want to intentionally use anything that comes up. I'm not saying individual congressmen don't care about people. That's not my point. But collectively as parties, what they both want to do is to divide the nation. That's what they want to do. That's the oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest trick in war. It's the oldest trick in negotiations. I came from a healthcare background, and the Georgia Hospital Association and the Georgia Medical Association, the doctors versus the hospitals, individually, we were all good people. Collectively, what we wanted to do is divide ourselves from one another. And it used to make me sick to my, it's just a foregone conclusion that that's what those two parties want to do. But we got to be smarter than that. Yeah. And how are we going to do that today, Mr. Producer? Exactly. We have no idea. I just wanted to throw something at you to see if I could get your eyes this big, because we have no idea. But people just have to start acting responsibly. You can't have a bill that's trying to bring this country back around and say, you know what, let's make sure that the Kennedy Center is well taken care of.
Can we have a bill that's not 1,400 pages?
Yeah. Let's just say this.
Let's start there.
Yeah. Let's just address things that have to do with the virus. Like a simpleton like me would be like, we're going to have $3 million for Lysol. See, I'd be like, that seems to make sense.
Yeah.
Right? Lysol production needs to get up. Mm-hmm. Those types of things, which is probably not a great plan to start your Lysol production to really ramp up. But those kind of things make a lot more sense to me than let's make sure that the Kennedy Center is, funded. Now, I will tell you, and I mentioned this in a sermon, unfortunately, somewhat prophetically, maybe about 10 weeks ago, but I was discussing I touched my face again. Do you realize how much you touch your daggum face? You do. I
have realized how much you touch your face.
I know it. So, with that being said, let me back up. So, in a sermon about 10 weeks ago, I was talking about that there's sometimes that there's things that people will say out of the Old Testament that people that are non-believers will say, well, why do y'all say this, this, and this? But in the Old Testament, it says that you can't eat shrimp. Why are y'all eating shrimp? And so I had a sermon explaining, well, shrimp was for a specific time. It was for a specific journey. It was when 40 million people were traveling together, and they were all cleaning and eating and bathing out of the same little streams. And that's why they didn't eat. So I was explaining this to him. I said, but if you looked at our culture today and a culture 100 years from now, look back at us, they are going to find it extremely weird that we shake hands, because shaking hands will be gone in the next 10 years. I said that 10 weeks ago. Let me tell you something. Shaking hands is going to be a thing of the past.
It may already be gone.
Corona, no Corona, we're going to be foot tapping, elbow popping, whatever it's going to be. Handshaking is gone. I don't even know that I'm too fired up about the old bump. Seems like there's some.
Well, they say the elbow bump is even worse because that's where
you
telling
sneeze.
people to sneeze.
Yeah, I think just the Japanese, once again, are just better human beings than us. They have things figured out better. The bow.
Bow's good.
But then you have to get to the whole thing about who bows first. I'm not bowing first. You gonna bow first? I'm not bowing first.
I'll bow first.
So you'll bow first,
Yeah.
won't you? So, but by the way, golly, we've left old Woodrow out of the show. I think you get to see his back today.
He's in a mood.
Yeah, he's not in the greatest of moods today either, but he's sound asleep. But I think a little foot tap or a bow is where we're going to go to, and do some like little Japanese head bob, where I don't know if I'm supposed to quit or if you're supposed to quit. So that's where we're going to go to on that. So once again, all over the board. But I just don't want either party to have a bill that does not directly address the crime. If you're right or if you're wrong, I can give you leadway on that. Listen, you threw a ball up there and it was a strike. You threw a ball up there and it was a ball. I can live with balls and strikes. I just can't live with you throwing a football up to home plate. That we're not doing football right now. That's a horrible analogy.
I think this is like rolling the ball over the plate.
Yeah. And so just stay on task. Stay on the topic that's at hand. It's the coronavirus. It's not the Kennedy Center. The other things that were in there had to do something with solar energy and wind energy. Hey, listen, I assume those are great things. I'm not smart enough to figure that kind of stuff. I have no idea. That seems like a great thing. Use old Mother Nature to provide you some energy. Seems like a good thing.
Probably.
Has nothing to do with the coronavirus.
Nothing.
So let's stay on task on those kind of things. The other thing the bill had that the Democrats had is any of the boards, the large corporate boards that received any type of help, aid, perks, tax credits, any of that kind of stuff, before they could receive any of those, they had to be analyzed for the diversity of their boards. So their corporate boards had to be analyzed to see if there was diversity there. Am I suggesting that we do not have a problem with diversification in boards of large major companies? I don't have any idea. Does that sound like a reasonable thing that maybe needs to be explored? Now, the old capitalist in me says boards need to pick whoever. If boards are smart, they're going to pick the most capable human beings they can in order to make money, and capitalism will take care of that. But listen, if I'm wrong about that, and that needs to be explored, all right, explore it. But now's not the time to tie that into it. Let's just get people back to work and get people healthy, and let's focus on that. Now, see, look here.
No,
Haven't even gone for them. No, I'm fine. Okay, so here's some things now we want to do is kind of do some good news. There's been lots of suggestions during this downtime. What do we do to encourage one another? Our brothers and sisters in the community, this being Ware County, Pierce County, what should we do? And can I tell you there's some horrible ideas? That's not how I should start off saying I'm going to bring you some positive things. But the whole idea about bringing back your Christmas lights, I can think of no worse idea.
No.
Let's go.
I'm a big fan of Christmas, and I'm against that.
Hey, listen, I am too. So for a lot of different reasons, right now, the old guy that's coming home every day, or he's probably not coming home. He's probably sitting at home, and he just keeps staring at the Dow. His 401k has just been cut in half in roughly 17 days.
Yes.
Let me tell you what women should do, what their lovely wives should do. While he's just staring at that left-hand corner of the screen where he sees his 401k has just been cut in half, what they need to do is just walk to the front of the recliner and say, honey, can you go up to the attic and go get some Christmas lights? There's no better idea for family unity than to go tell some poor guy to start getting out the Christmas lights. We're about to put them up for some unity. Yeah. I understand the idea. The spirit of the idea is okay. I understand the heart of the idea. But the practical implication and execution of that idea could not be worse. couples will kill one another over Christmas. Now, here's my second reason. Okay, I live on Coleman Circle. Right around the corner from us is the neighborhood that is most famous for Christmas lights. The block up from us is Chadwick Drive. And those guys, they whip us every year. Coleman Circle looks like a ghost town when you go and you compare it to Chadwick. And listen, we understand it. Us folks down at Coleman, that's where the wealthy live, up on Chadwick. And down at Coleman Circle, we're just regular old common people. We don't have the money to pay Georgia Power hundreds and hundreds of dollars extra to have our fancy dancy Christmas lights going on. And those folks at Chadwick Circle, no, they're just Chadwick Drive. We're a circle. We're not even a whole road. You just drive down there and you turn around and come back. That's how impoverished we are. You go up to Chadwick, those guys, they have it going on, and they will use this as one more opportunity to embarrass the folks down at Coleman Circle. And at Coleman Circle, like, we can't even look each other in the eyes around Christmas because, like, we drive past all of our houses. Like, yeah, have you seen up there? And Chadwick's got it going on. So that's not going to be good for me. I will absolutely attack my wife in a very vicious way if she asks me to start climbing up on top of the garage to get down Christmas lights for coronavirus unity. That sounds crazy. She knows better. She knows better.
I think so.
Okay. Now, I will say I have seen, and this was in Macon, Georgia, my good friend Barry Jenkins, they have cul-de-sac gatherings. And so they will go to a cul-de-sac where it is very easy to get your 6 feet apart. They'll bring out their lawn chairs, and their couples will enjoy their evenings together, but way, way spread apart. That seems like a good idea to me. Now, in Cherokee Heights, and listen, we're still in this idea. We're not saying it's our own. It might even be Taylor Hefford's family that started this. I might not be given credit appropriately, but a lot of people are leaving chalk messages for one another. So when you're out on your 6 foot radius walks in the evening, we're leaving messages to one another, just like keep the course, encourage one another, maybe a little humor, something like that.
Yeah.
So that is also definitely a possibility as well. So other things, and we were kind of thinking about this. We were wanting to give 3 things because you can get lazy in times like this. You can get lazy. So we were just thinking some general ideas of things to do. And you guys might want to comment to help us out with this. But what are things that we need to do during this time of self-quarantine is, one, you need some pants on by 9 a.m.
Yes.
Don't you agree with that?
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
can't get so lazy that you stay in pajamas. Now, this is going to hit a little hard to some people at my house. But when I'm 11 o'clock, I get cabin fever right off the bat. But it drives me out of my mind when I see people in their pajamas at lunch. And so I force my family. I'm like, listen, you got to go put on clothes. And they're just like, wow, we're not doing anything today. I just like, you just.
Thank you for covering that. I appreciate this.
Does this help you at your family as well?
Yes, it will.
I was like, because we're just not that family. You go put on some clothes. And they're like, well, Dad, all we're going to do is sit on the couch and watch. You're going to sit on the couch with some daggum britches on. That's what you're going to do. And so my family, other than me, really loves pajamas. And but I don't think that's a good idea. So we're nixing that. Pants on by 9. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, and this does not apply to all of my family, and I won't get as personal on this, but could you shower every 48 hours? Now, to me, every 12 to 24 hours is common.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't Europe. We're not that bad. But could you shower every 48 hours? Is that a reasonable request?
I hope so.
As well. Now, I think that's something that is, and then I know during this time, I fear I'm going to have to, and I don't want to name the family member. I really don't. It's probably not who people would think it would be. But there is one of my family members that I think I'm going to have to surgically remove she from the couch that she is in, as she is plugged up to her phone all day. Now, listen, I'm the keeper of my house. I can credit. But yesterday, I was like, have you even got up to pee? She said, not in a while. Not in a while. And so I think every 30 minutes, you got to get up and go for a walk.
Move around.
Get up, move around a little bit. Okay, get up and move around. Take the dog out. Woodrow likes to go for a walk. And Woodrow, he has pants on by 9 most mornings as well. So, Mr. Producer, if we can just step back for a second, how are things going at your house?
We're pretty good. We've my back's hurting. I think it's part of this. We're just working in the yard all the time.
Oh, is that how y'all are filling up your time?
That's how we're passing the time. That's a tough. It's a tough gig.
That might work. So, obviously, as we kind of close on a little bit of a more serious note, it is what experts, which we are not experts. Is that fair to say?
I'm behind that.
Epidemiology. Any background or credentialing that you have on epidemiology?
No.
None whatsoever. And could we just come right out and say you and I really aren't experts on anything?
Not really.
Whatsoever. It seems that the experts are telling us there will be a huge, in the next 3 to 5 days, there's going to be a big spike in numbers for an assortment of different reasons. One is just the law of mathematics is as things begin to multiply, it has more of a propensity for spikes, and there's going to be more testing and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so the fact of the matter is it is certainly already cases here locally. And I imagine there's cases in every county in Georgia, if I had, or most every county in Georgia, but we're just kind of slow getting to the symptoms and to the testing.
Sure.
But I just certainly will continue to pray for those people that are facing this and hope that we all take good precaution. And if cabin fever is the worst thing that we, face through all of this, that would be a blessing. But I certainly pray as well for our just economic viability to be able to, to hold tight. My family no longer lets me watch any station anymore that has the Dow Jones Industrial Average in front of my eyes. So
that's good.
Yeah, they're just like, no. So we're at the Hallmark Channel or whatever the case might be. But Mr. Producer, I appreciate you this morning, and I appreciate all of you out there. Don't forget to share this for some. Now, it's not Charmin that we're giving away, so don't go crazy. It is great value.
Yeah.
So it's I'm gonna call it middle of the road kind of toilet paper. But in today's world, that is a commodity. If I got 10 rolls of toilet paper over here that nobody's claimed, you share and you get these 10 rolls of toilet paper, get it out there, so that your family could be blessed here from the Clay and Woodrow Show, because $100 gift cards to Outback.
That's nothing.
That's nothing compared to
10 rolls.
10 rolls of mediocre.
Great value.
Mediocre toilet paper.
It's a great value, not great quality.
Good, that's right. Never say anything about quality. So it is a great value. So anyhow, you guys have just a fantastic week. You got plenty of time on your hands to comment and share below, so we would encourage you to do so, and we will see you later. Take care.
Off the side, let her go, let it ride.